industry trends reveal shifts in technology. On this episode of Apex TV 360, what you need to know to stay ahead of the curve. I'm Andrew McIntosh with Apex TV 360. We have a tech-filled episode for you today that could impact your success and bottom line. We'll reveal how connected vehicles will impact business. But first, we're talking about a trend that's here to stay with Behzad Rassouli, Senior Vice President of Strategic Development at Auto Care Association. Behzad, a lot of habits have changed because of the pandemic. How would you define a convenience shift?
Yeah, I think our industry is no different in many respects in that in the last year, consumers were forced to interact with businesses in a completely different fashion, right? There's no longer the third dimension of being in a store or walking up to a store. Every store was on a two-dimensional screen, and it's really easy to switch between stores. And what you found as a consumer yourself, and our business has found, is that ease of use and guiding the consumer to what they're looking for is what wins. And it's not always the businesses that won in the physical space. Sometimes it's the digital space is completely different. And consumers found ways to pursue convenience in ways that they didn't think was possible before.
How would you suggest businesses address that shift?
All of us are consumers, and we will flow towards the path of least resistance and the best customer experience. So there's no disconnect between how you are as a customer and how you are as a business owner or as an employee, okay? The customer is expecting the same thing from your business that you're expecting from other businesses. So learn lessons from your own experiences and from your employees, and ask them and watch them and interview them and study how they're conducting business in this new e-commerce space, and make sure that you're providing that same level of customer experience and convenience through your business.
Definitely valuable information. And while we have you, let's talk about the return to Apex in person in Las Vegas. Why should folks attend?
At Apex, we bring the best and brightest of the entire industry together at once. And through education sessions, through conversations with business owners, and through conversations with peers, you're going to pick up the best of what's going on in the economy and some of the best business practices that are out there. Apex is going to have all of the education that you need and all the peers and leaders that you need to be around to learn from the best and brightest.
Thank you, Behzad. Now let's shift gears to talk more about a new resource you'll be wanting to keep your eyes on. Chris Gardner, Senior Vice President at the Automotive Aftermarket Suppliers Association, is here now. Chris, there's a lot of data that connected vehicles are beginning to generate. How can the aftermarket use it?
First, thanks for the opportunity to talk about this, because it's a tremendously important and critical issue. There are multiple categories of data generated by vehicles, but I like to put them into three primary buckets. One is diagnostics information that's in the form of DTCs, or diagnostic trouble codes. And the next one is driver or vehicle behavior information. So we're talking about vehicle location, how a driver operates the vehicle, things like that. And that's typically accessed via telematics or wireless networks. And then the third area is component or architecture data. And that really covers or includes the access to embedded software for reflashing and calibration operations. The two immediate needs or uses are, one is identifying issues with vehicles and repairing. So diagnostic information enables technicians and shops to identify the problems and to repair them, install the right part, etc. The second one is a growing area, and that is calibrating systems such as the ADAS safety systems to make sure that they're working properly. The long-term uses, which are just starting to come into play, but we see a big future for these, are number one is the ability to identify the performance of parts and systems to be able to predict when maintenance and repairs will be required. Another long-term use is having the ability to access vehicle data to then convert that into intelligence to be able to improve part design. especially by suppliers who will be able to analyze how the parts are performing on vehicles and identify how they wear and what their shelf life is, their life cycles are, so that they can design even better parts on vehicles for future uses.
It's great to have that information, and the future sure does look bright. Could folks benefit on uses for the data by attending AAPEX?
There's multiple ways in which AAPEX will help individuals, will help companies, will help the industry as a whole in this area. One is that there will be exhibits and demonstrations of telematics solutions, including a demonstration of the Secure Vehicle Interface set of international standards that has been developed that will provide technical solutions for this challenge. There also will be shop diagnostic solutions on display and being demonstrated, access to data solutions, and a lot more at AAPEX.
Thank you for being with us, Chris. He's right. There's a lot to learn, and AAPEX 2021 is a great resource for all of us. Save the date for November 2nd through the 4th. Register and reserve your room now at apexshow.com. Share that you'll be there. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn using the hashtag AAPEX21. You can take a deeper dive on both of our topics on the AAPEX blog. That's also at apexshow.com. That's it for this episode of AAPEX TV 360. See you again soon.